All right, today we're going to talk about a piece of technology that you are using all the time, probably without even realizing it. I'm talking about artificial intelligence.
Seriously, just stop and think for a second. How many times have you already used AI today? Before you even had your first cup of coffee, did you check a weather app? Did you scroll through a social media feed? Ask a smart speaker for the news? Well, if you did, you've already had a bunch of run-ins with AI. To see just how deep it goes, let's follow a day in the life of a guy we'll call John.
So it's the weekend. John decides to kick back and watch a movie. He fires up Netflix and boom, right there on the homepage is a recommendation that looks absolutely perfect. That's not just luck, you know? That's AI analyzing literally everything he's ever watched to predict what he'll be in the mood for next. Before he leaves the house, John whips out his phone, a quick question to Siri, and he knows it might rain later. That whole seamless conversation, from his spoken words to a synthesized voice giving him a forecast, yeah, that's all powered by AI.
And finally, he hits the road, merges onto the highway, and his Tesla just takes over, navigating traffic on autopilot. So you've got Netflix, Siri, and a Tesla. 3 totally different experiences, all connected by this one incredibly powerful technology.
John's day is a perfect example of just how much AI is woven into our lives. And that brings us to the big question. What exactly is it? We hear the term AI thrown around constantly, but what are we actually talking about?
Well, at its very core, the goal of AI is both super simple and incredibly ambitious, to build machines that can think and act like we do. It's about giving computers the ability to see, to reason, to learn, and to solve problems in a way that kind of mirrors our own intelligence.
And what's fascinating is that this idea is not new at all. The term artificial intelligence was actually coined way back in 1956. So why is it suddenly everywhere now? The simple answer is computing power. We finally have the horsepower to bring these old sci-fi ideas into reality.
But here's something that's really important to get. Not all AI is the same. The technology really exists on a spectrum, which we can break down into 3 pretty distinct levels.
This breakdown is super helpful. So first up is artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI. This is what we have all around us today. This is AI that can do one specific thing incredibly well, like recommend a movie or navigate a highway. Everything in John's day was an example of ANI. Next, you have AGI, artificial general intelligence. This is where a machine could learn and understand any intellectual task a human can. We're getting closer, for sure, but we're not quite there yet. And finally, you have ASI, or superintelligence, where machines actually surpass human intelligence. For now, that's still the stuff of science fiction.
Okay, so we know what AI is and its different levels, but how does it actually learn? Let's go a layer deeper and look at the engines that make it all work.
First up is machine learning. Now, instead of programming a computer with rules for every single situation, you just feed it tons and tons of data and let it learn the patterns all by itself. Think of that Netflix engine again. It wasn't programmed to know you'd like that movie. It learned it by analyzing the viewing habits of millions of people.
And if we go one layer deeper than that, we find deep learning, which is a specialized subset of machine learning. This is where it gets really interesting. Deep learning uses these structures called artificial neural networks, which are directly inspired by the architecture of our own brains, and that allows for even more complex pattern recognition.
So machine learning is what's behind things like your email spam filter. Deep learning, with those brain-like networks, is what powers more complex stuff like face recognition on your phone. And a related field, natural language processing, or NLP, is what allows machines to understand and respond to human language. Think chatbots and translation apps. So now that we've got the concepts down, let's look at how this technology is fundamentally reshaping entire industries, way beyond just our phones and our cars.
In healthcare, AI is a total game changer. It can analyze medical images to spot diseases like cancer earlier, and sometimes with greater accuracy than the human eye. This helps doctors make better, faster decisions for their patients.
In our classrooms, AI is freeing up precious time for teachers by automating tasks like grading, and this lets educators focus less on paperwork and more on what really matters, teaching and supporting their students. For robotics, AI is basically the brains of the machine. It allows a robot in a factory or a warehouse to see and understand its environment in real time, instantly detecting obstacles and replanning its path to be safer and more efficient.
And in banking, AI is like the silent guardian of our finances. It analyzes millions of transactions a second to detect patterns of fraud, protecting our accounts and completely transforming security in the financial world.
The impact here is it's undeniable. But it's not just about transforming industries, it's also about creating enormous economic value and incredible new career paths.
And where there's transformation, there's opportunity. The demand for people who can build and manage these AI systems is just exploding. That's why the average salary for an AI engineer is already over $120,000, and it's a field that is really just getting started.
And this isn't just about individual salaries. The entire AI market is projected to be worth nearly $190 billion by 2025. This isn't just a trend, it's fast becoming a foundational piece of the global economy.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most crucial question. As this technology continues to evolve, as it moves from the narrow AI of today towards something way more powerful, we have to ask ourselves, is this just a tool that's going to enhance our own intelligence, or is it the beginning of something that could one day replace it? The future isn't written yet, but it's definitely a question we're thinking about.